Hi, welcome back to my channel. OhSheReads here at OhSheReads, and it's December 1st. Happy December 1st. You know what that means. It's Colleen Hoover month. Yes, it is Colleen Hoover month here on this channel for no particular reason except for the fact that I have a nasty habit of collecting Colleen Hoover books and never reading them. I always add them to my TBR, or they become part of, a TBR for a readathon that I'm participating in, but I never get to them and it's horrible. So I'm going to rectify that before we get into 2018 and definitely read all the Colleen Hoover books I have on my shelf that I have not read yet. So there are 12 books total in publication by Colleen Hoover, not counting, I think, like one ebook project that she wrote with another author, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I will write the name of the book down here. That book I have read. It was like a thriller. And then I have read quite a few out of the 12 published books that she has listed under her name. I've read her first book, which was Slammed. I read that when it first came out, when she was still an independently published author. I think she's with the publishing house now. Yes, she's now with Simon & Schuster, but back then when she was just, publishing her stories on Amazon, back on Amazon in like 2011 or 12, I read Slammed, and then shortly after Slammed, I read Point of Retreat and This Girl. I've also read Hopeless and its companion book Losing Hope, as well as Finding Cinderella, which is only in ebook format, I believe. So what's left to read are the remaining 6 books that she has out that I have slacked off on. So with no further ado, I will go ahead and show you the books. And I will be reading them in the order of publication, by the way. The first book on my Colleen Hoover month TBR is Slammed. And I chose this one because I actually want to reread this book. I have a lot of fond memories of when I read it the first time. It really moved me and I really enjoyed my reading experience. But I have not read it since, so I just really want to dive back into this one and rediscover this story and pretty much fall in love with it all over again. Next on the list I have Maybe Someday. This one was released in 2014. At 22 years old, Sydney is enjoying a great life. She's in college, working a steady job, in love with her wonderful boyfriend Hunter, and rooming with her best friend Tori. But everything changes when she discovers that Hunter is cheating on her, and she's forced to decide what her next move should be. Soon, Sydney finds herself captivated by her mysterious and attractive neighbor, Ridge. She can't take her eyes off of him or stop listening to the passionate ways he plays his guitar every evening out on his balcony. And there's something about Sydney that Ridge can't ignore either. They soon find themselves needing each other in more ways than one. A passionate tale of friendship, betrayal, and romance maybe someday will immerse readers in Sydney's tumultuous world from the very first page. So you have your basic new adult romance. You have a girl who's had her heart broken. It's probably scarred her. I can't wait to find out who he's been cheating on her with. My guess is the best friend, but we'll see. Maybe Colleen Hoover won't take it down that road. Then we have the mysterious neighbor boy who's a musician and probably deep and different from anyone she's ever known, And of course they're going to strike up a friendship and a connection and all that good stuff. So it's the typical new adult formula, but what I like about Colleen Hoover is she tends to put her own twist on things, and she has a way of writing emotions that goes a little bit deeper than the usual new adult fare. So I'm definitely excited to finally get my hands on this one. Glare much? Sorry guys. Next up I have Ugly Love. This one came out August of 2014, and I would say out of all of her books, this one, November 9, and I think the last one, Maybe Someday, are the ones that I hear talked about the most. So I'm really curious about this book. So in Ugly Love, we have 2 protagonists. We have our female protagonist, Tate, and our male protagonist, Miles. So with Miles, we have the secretive, tormented hero, and it sounds like we have the jaded and somewhat damaged heroine, and they don't get along. It's not love at first sight. They kind of rub each other the wrong way, but they have a lot of chemistry and they're very physically attracted to each other. So they start this relationship of mutual satisfaction where they basically are just using each other, but they're being honest with each other about it. And Miles just has two rules. Never ask him about the past and don't expect a future. So it's kind of that gray area relationship where things start off only on the physical level, but of course, you know, feelings are going to start to develop and things are going to go awry. And it's kind of like once those lines and boundaries begin to be crossed, you know, things get messy. So I'm curious to see how Colleen Hoover is going to navigate these characters into a strong, abiding love with one another. Should be interesting. Next up, I have It Ends With Us. And this one was released in 2016. So this book looks really interesting. We have Lily, our female protagonist, who sounds like she had a pretty rough life growing up. She had a tough childhood, but she's a hard worker, and she didn't allow her past to stop her from building a great future for herself. She worked really hard, graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So her life seems to be on the upward rise. Then she meets this gorgeous neurosurgeon named Ryle, and she's really fascinated by him. He's a little cold, but he's also really sensitive, strong, and smart, obviously to be a neurosurgeon, and he has a soft spot for Lily. But the problem is he has a complete aversion to relationships, which is a major red flag if I've ever heard one. So of course this puts Lily in a conundrum. She's wondering, why is this guy so averse to relationships? Now they're kind of seeing each other. She's wondering what's going on. What is this? Then comes the past knocking on her door. Atlas Corrigan. He was her first love, and he's a link to her past, that hard life that she left behind. But growing up, he was like her touchstone, her kindred spirit, her protector, and now he's come back into her life. Okay, this sounds like the kind of love triangle I can tolerate. But obviously, when Atlas comes back into Lily's life, everything that she's building with Ryle is threatened. Okay, so I guess we'll see if I'm Team Ryle or Team Atlas. I think for now I'm gonna go into this one Team Lily. Next up, I have the famous November 9, which I will probably read on December 9th and just pretend that it's November 9th. But yes, this one I've heard a lot of buzz about, and I have prevented myself from being spoiled on it, which I'm so proud of myself. I have no clue what it's about. I haven't even read the dust jacket, but basically it just says this is an unforgettable love story between a writer and his unexpected muse. I think I'm gonna go into it blind. Just this right here says you'll never be able to find yourself if you're lost in someone else. And that's all I'm going to read for right now, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And last but certainly not least is Colleen's newest release, which just debuted October of this year, so just a few months ago, and that is Without Merit. Now this one sounds very interesting. Not every mistake deserves a consequence. Sometimes the only thing it deserves is forgiveness. The family is anything but normal. They live in a repurposed church, newly baptized Dollar Voss. The once cancer-stricken mother lives in the basement. The father is married to the mother's former nurse. Their half-brother isn't allowed to do or eat anything fun, and the eldest siblings are irritatingly perfect. Then there's Merit. Merit Voss collects trophies she hasn't earned and secrets her family forces her to keep. While browsing the local antique shop for her next trophy, she finds Sogan. His wit and unapologetic idealism disarm and spark renewed life into her until she discovers that he's completely unavailable. Merit retreats deeper into herself, watching her family from the sidelines when she learns a secret that no trophy in the world can fix. Fed up with the lies, Merit decides to shatter the happily family illusion that she's never been a part of before, leaving them behind for good. When her escape plan fails, Merit is forced to deal with the staggering consequences of telling the truth and losing the one boy she loves. Yo. Poignant and powerful, Without Merit explores the layers of lies that tie a family together and the power of love and truth. This sounds like her most fascinating novel yet. I mean, the twists and the turns, I can only imagine. I'm so excited for this. You have it. Here is my TBR for Colleen Hoover month. I'm so excited. Excited to finally get to all of these novels. It has been long awaited. On the lookout for my January wrap-up, where I'll be letting you know how I feel about all the Colleen Hoover goodness that I enjoyed this month of December. I'm going to try to read at least one book a week. I think it'll average out to about one book a week until maybe the last week, since there are 6 books. I'll get through Slammed pretty quickly since I've read it once before. But yes, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If any of y'all want to join me on Colleen Hoover month, just definitely thumbs up. Write in the comments, let me know which Colleen Hoover books you have read and loved, and I will catch you in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe and join the OhShe fam. Bye. Love you guys. Bye. This young adult, but just her lyricism, she's so poetic. She can build worlds with her language. I aspire, okay, to her level of writing. I adore her. She's definitely one of my literary writing heroes.